Alright, we're on a 3-year daily ES chart. We can see we've got a volume profile on it, the HVN up here at 2070.85. Then we can see a second build out here of volume down into the 1916 to 1917 range or so. So just mark that real quick. Alright, you can also see that above this area of price we've been trading in lately, there is a small volume null from right about 1955 up into 2005 or so. And then below price, there's also a volume null, both shown here in this darker blue area. If we shrink it down into a 1 year, we can just draw a downtrend there. We can see that the downtrend here and the downtrend at the top of range channel very well, so we can leave that there. We can also see that the price within the channel on the left side broke here over the 50 and tested up into the 38.2 and then failed. And then today we see price broke again over the 50, tested into the 38.2 and failed. So even though price was not symmetrical, the channel Fibonacci's were symmetrical, testing into the 38.2 here and the 38.2 here. We'll have to watch what happens here at this volume spike in the 1916 range. We can also put a Fibonacci retracement on the complete pattern, such as this. And we can see here that the 38.2 also sits right about there on the volume spike here in the 1916 to 1917 range. So we'll want to see what price does when we do get into this area, as to if we bounce and test back up into this 1952 and into the volume null up here, or if we break down the high amount of volume here and we test lower into the 38.2 here, or the 61.8 here of the channel, and then possibly lower into the 1874 range, where again we have the volume null below that. Next I want to take a look at the XLE. The XLE on a shorter term here. We can see the presence of a ascending triangle here from the lows in the almost 50s up into the highs here at the 58 range. We've touched the top side multiple times as well as the uptrend, so it is a valid ascending triangle. If price were to break up and over the top here, it's an $8 range at 75%, so you're looking for about a $6 break higher. If price does break down here though, we would be looking to see if this volume can go, if we can go through volume, and if volume does get taken through, we'd be testing back down here into the 50-51 range again. The other sector I wanted to look at was the XLP. I've talked about the XLP a lot, and I still like the sector as well. We can see that we broke out of the top of this channel and set a new all-time high, and now we are to the shortest term 23.6 here at 50.88. If price doesn't hold 50.88, we're looking for a move back down here into the 50 to 50 quarter range, where there's quite a few Fibonacci's. Would most likely look to pick up the XLP down here in the 50 range, though if the market does go weak, we could see possibly the 50.88 hold in the XLP. We have my favorite, the Walmart. Now we can see here on Walmart the presence of the volume null that is discussed all the time here, from the 60 range all the way up into almost 73, and even then at 73 there's very little volume built out, but it's still present. If we take it down into a shorter term, we can see again presence of volume. If we shut off the volume profile for now, we could draw a top trend here, and then if we redraw it as a channel and take it to the lows, we could see that the left side before the drop held very well to this 23.6 fib, and it always held above the 38.2. If this drop here wasn't present, then you could almost call it an inverse head and shoulders. But with this here, it most likely just doesn't classify it that way. We do know though what's important is to hold over the 64.5 area. Bonus points if it can hold the 66 range. You could put a retracement level on from the lows here up into the highs, and you can see that the shortest term 23.6 lays at 65.40. So anywhere in this range I would expect for Walmart to catch. I still like it to come up and test into the 69.5 range, if not higher, to test this gap fill into the 72s, and then possibly up here into this fib set at 73 to 74, where volume also picks up. Taking a look at Tesla here, Tesla fell through quite a few fibs. Let's put the volume profile back on. We can see that Tesla fell through quite a few Fibonacci retracements. Oh, we don't need it on this. We can go here. It bounced here at the volume in the 140 area, and then it came up into the shortest term 38.2 around the 198 to 200 area, and it's currently rejecting that price. Volume is most prominent up here in the 208 area. If Tesla can hold this 183 to 185 range, I would expect for test higher through these 200s and possibly up into the 216 end of current downtrend to be what we see next. If price can't hold the 183, 185, we've got support at the 176.5 area, and then below that we retest the 150s. The last chart I wanted to look at was Goldman. Here on the, I'm going to just switch on out to the 20 year. Here on the 20 year, you can see that we have the Fibonacci drawn, and then we have a shorter term Fibonacci drawn as well. Price came and it caught the 50 fib on the long term here at 149, and now we're looking for a bounce possibly up to test the 158 range. You also have the high volume node here at 163 to 164, and volume does extend all the way up here into the previous, or the longest term 61.8 at 173. 173 is the area where we broke down price, and the shorter term 38.2 is also there at 169.5. So I wouldn't be too shocked to see GS retest up into the 170 range, though the targets before again are 158 and then this area into the 163s. So overall, what we're looking for and what we'll be looking for here in the next couple days is what does price do when it comes into this 1916 to 1917 area. If we bounce, we have the ability to possibly get up here into the 2000s. If we break down, we're looking at a move possibly all the way back down into the 1873 range. So very important pivot here. We'll just have to see what it does, and we'll have to play whatever the market gives us.